Hey guys, one of the things that I love most is a nice, contrasty black and white photograph. I feel like it is the one thing that you can always count on as always having a classic look and feel to it. I don't know if you're like me, but over the last several years I've been thoroughly disappointed with how quickly Fujifilm has been discontinuing different film stocks. In the last several years, Fujifilm has discontinued 400H, Fujicolor 160NS, Velvia 100, and Velvia 50. Look, the fact that Fuji's giving up on the ship saddens me deeply, but I wanted to spend some time talking and sharing with you about a few of my favorite film stocks in the hopes that you pick up a film or camera and go out and shoot some film. Let's say that my hope is that as a community that we can keep film around for as long as possible. Oh, and before I go on, I also want to encourage you to go out and support your local film lab. Today, however, we're going to be talking about one of the longest black and white film stocks still available on the market, and that film is Kodak Tri-X 400. Now, before we get too much about why I love this film, let's get into a little history of Tri-X 400. Tri-X was introduced into the world way back in the 1940s as a panochromatic film, but it was not until it was adapted to 35mm and 120 in the 1950s that it really began to take off as every photographer's must-shoot black and white film. Tri-X initially was introduced as a 200 speed film, but it was later updated to a 400 speed film, and the main reason why Tri-X has stayed so popular for so long was its insane adaptability to almost every lighting situation imaginable. This black and white film became a fan favorite among photojournalists shooting in the worst conditions such as war and violent protests and all sorts of different situations. It became a must-have film for street photographers everywhere, including a few of my favorite, Henry Cartier-Bresson and Gary Winogrand. It was the film stock used by two of my favorite photographers ever, and they both happened to be women, in Mary Ellen Mark and Vivian Maier. Sports journalists have been shooting sporting events on Kodak Tri-X for as long as it has been around. Now, the best part about Tri-X is that pretty much every famous photographer has ran at least 20 or more rolls of this film stock through their cameras. So I bet you're probably wondering at this point, what has made Tri-X so popular for so long? Well, a lot of that can be attributed to the fact that it's been around for over 80 years. The other thing that makes it so popular is that you can push and pull it extremely easily and still get amazing results. Now, the crazy part about Tri-X is, despite its formula changing over the years, is that it has kept its signature look the entire time. There's something to be said about having a consistent product that photographers can depend on no matter what decade they are running a roll through their camera. It doesn't matter if you're shooting this in 1950 or if you're shooting this in 2021, the images are going to have that same signature look. Now, I want to take a few minutes to talk about the few characteristics of Tri-X that I love so much. Probably the most notable trait of Tri-X is its grain structure. If you're looking for smooth grain that is not noticeable, then this probably is not the film stock for you. Tri-X has the type of grain that invites you into an image. This image created with Tri-X is still sharp, but it adds a grit to the images that brings the grain to the forefront without ever overwhelming the subject of the image. I personally love grain, and I prefer it in almost every situation, no matter if I'm shooting color film or black and white film, but Tri-X has some of the best grain around. Now, the second trait that I love a lot about Tri-X is its contrast. Tri-X has awesome, deep shadows that more often than not allows the highlights to really pop off an image. The tonality between the dark areas of the image and the lighter areas of the image really make for a wonderful combination for almost every bit of imagery that you can shoot with it. If you are ever in doubt, pop in a roll of Tri-X and just be amazed with the images you get from it. Now, arguably the most important trait of Tri-X is its flexibility. You can push Tri-X all the way up to 6400 ISO and still get some great results. You do have to be careful that you have enough light in the shadows though when you push it, because Tri-X sometimes has an ability to make your darks in your shadows a little mushy. But even pushing this 400 speed film 4 stops can really produce wonderful results that you will really enjoy. Now, I want to be fair. I'm kind of fanboying over this. Are there other black and white film stocks that do things better than Tri-X? Sure, of course there is. But the difference is other film stocks will do one thing better, but not all things. Technically speaking, there are other film stocks that you can use in different situations that work better, but I think the one reason why so many photographers are drawn to Tri-X is because it's tried and true, and despite not being perfect, it gives us a reason to go out and shoot photographs. This reason reminds me of the real reason why I even got into photography, and that journey that I love about photography is that I'm always in the pursuit of finding an image that really lights me up, and Kodak Tri-X generally does that for me. Now, I just want to say thank you so much for watching this review, and if you like it, please make sure to hit subscribe and then hit the ring notification button. And as always, I love to end any review that I do on my channel with the same statement. This film stock, Tri-X, is not going to make you a better photographer. Watching videos about photography is also not going to make you a better photographer. Do you want to know what will make you a better photographer? Taking your camera out of your camera bag and photographing something with it. That's all I got for this review. I hope you guys enjoy some of the images that you've seen and some of the images that you'll see after this. Thanks so much for watching it. Can't wait for you to see you in the next one. And if you like this video, make sure to subscribe. But that's it for today, guys. Peace.